Every generation of drivers faces the same question. Can a true driver's car still exist in a world of digital filters and computer-managed precision? Performance used to be measured by instinct, the feel of the road, the rhythm of shifting, the balance between power and control. Today, algorithms assist where muscle memory once ruled. But somewhere between nostalgia and progress lies the perfect intersection, the moment where engineering discipline meets emotional connection. That's the heart of this story, and the reason enthusiasts still care about something that moves more than just the body. Because when a machine feels alive, it connects us to something deeper than data. And when a legend returns after years away, expectations can shape its destiny. Stick around as we explore how one nameplate from Japan's performance heritage is writing a new chapter for modern sports cars. If you love stories that blend heritage, innovation, and raw passion for driving, hit like, subscribe, and comment which car you want to see next. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 represents more than a return to form. It stands as proof that a heritage badge can evolve without losing its pulse. To understand why this car matters, we have to start with its roots. The Supra name stretches back to the late 1970s, when Toyota began separating performance from practicality. The early Celica Supra models were comfortable cruisers, but the series transformed through the 1980s and 1990s into one of the most recognizable sports cars of its time. The fourth generation, known as the A80, became a cultural landmark. Its 2JZ inline-six engine, timeless shape, and unforgettable role in global car culture turned it into a symbol of Japanese engineering excellence. Then, silence. 2 decades passed without a successor. Enthusiasts held on to hope, but few expected Toyota to bring it back at all. When the GR Supra finally reappeared, it did so in partnership with another manufacturer, sparking both excitement and controversy. That controversy defines the opening chapter of the 2025 model story, a car designed not to chase nostalgia, but to prove that innovation and identity can coexist. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 is built on a shared platform, developed jointly with a European partner. To some, this collaboration represented efficiency, to others, a dilution of character. Toyota's leadership, however, saw it as an opportunity to focus on refinement, tuning, and emotion rather than starting from zero. The GR badge stands for Gazoo Racing, Toyota's performance division, and their mission was to reclaim the Supra name as a benchmark for driving feel. They adjusted chassis rigidity, suspension geometry, and steering weight to craft a car that could stand apart despite its shared origins. Every curve and component was tested, retuned, and honed to produce a driving signature unmistakably Toyota in philosophy. That's where the story begins to deepen, because what defines a Supra isn't its parts, but its personality. Look closely at the Toyota GR Supra 2025 and you'll see how form follows both function and legacy. Its proportions nod to the long hood, short deck layout that defined its predecessors. The double bubble roof improves aerodynamics while recalling cues from racing history. The headlights and taillights feature modern LED signatures, yet they echo the classic curvature of the 1990s generation. The stance is low and muscular, the dimensions compact yet balanced. It is unmistakably a sports coupe, but one designed to perform under both precision testing and emotional connection. In this sense, Toyota didn't build a nostalgia piece. They built a machine for a new era that happens to wear a familiar name. Under the hood, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 carries a turbocharged inline-six, delivering more than 380 horsepower depending on market tune. It's smooth, linear, and full of torque. The engine's behavior defines the Supra's dual nature, refined in daily driving, fierce when pushed to its redline. The car's 8-speed automatic transmission shifts faster and smarter than most drivers ever could, yet the recent reintroduction of a manual gearbox option transforms the experience for purists. It's a nod to enthusiasts who still value tactile engagement. The result is a car that doesn't just look like a Supra, it feels like one. The interior tells a similar story of balance between heritage and evolution. Inside the Toyota GR Supra 2025, The cockpit wraps around the driver like a purpose-built tool. Every control is within reach, visibility is sharp, the seating position is low and deliberate. The materials mix lightweight composites, leather, and brushed metal, reflecting a focus on both performance and comfort. Digital displays replace analog dials, but Toyota kept the readouts clean and driver-centric. It's a reminder that while technology has reshaped how we interact with machines, simplicity still defines the most satisfying experiences behind the wheel. Driving the Toyota GR Supra 2025 reveals a car tuned for real-world rhythm rather than numbers on a spec sheet. It corners with precision, the chassis communicates feedback clearly, the suspension manages a rare balance between stiffness and compliance. On winding roads, it feels agile and alert, carrying itself like a well-trained athlete. On highways, it becomes calm and composed, soaking up long distances without fatigue. This dual character is what sets it apart in today's performance landscape. Many sports cars chase lap times, the Supra chases feel. It's engineered not to win a race against rivals, but to remind drivers why the act of driving still matters. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 also benefits from incremental updates over previous model years. Engineers refined the software that governs throttle response, traction, and adaptive damping. The steering calibration feels more natural, the weight builds progressively through corners. These are subtle improvements, but they accumulate into something profound, a car that feels more cohesive and more human. The Zoo Racing's fingerprints are everywhere, from suspension bushings to exhaust note tuning. The result is a machine that's less about borrowed components and more about identity reclaimed. Even so, critics question whether the Toyota GR Supra 2025 can ever escape the shadow of its origins. Its shared foundation with a European roadster remains a point of debate. But Toyota's retuning process was extensive. Engineers replaced components, reprogrammed control systems, and even altered the feel of the differential to ensure distinct behavior. The outcome is a car that, when driven, feels unmistakably different from its platform cousin. It delivers sharper turn-in, more stable balance under power, and a more cohesive feedback loop between driver and machine. These distinctions may seem minor on paper, but on the road, they define the difference between imitation and authenticity. At its core, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 exists because of passion at the executive and engineering levels. Without internal champions, the project might never have moved beyond a design sketch. In a world shifting rapidly toward electric mobility, the decision to invest in a rear-wheel drive, inline-six coupe is bold. It reflects Toyota's belief that emotion remains a vital part of mobility's future. That belief extends beyond nostalgia. It's about preserving the connection between human intent and mechanical response. The Supra becomes a statement of philosophy, that performance should feel alive, not just efficient. As the sun sets on purely combustion-driven sports cars, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 finds itself at a crossroads. It carries the weight of expectation, the burden of comparison, and the opportunity to inspire a new generation. Its story doesn't rest on quarter-mile times or top speed, it rests on the spark it creates in the hearts of those who drive it. And as we move deeper into this story, one question remains: what makes a legend endure when the world around it changes so completely? Next, we'll explore how the Toyota GR Supra 2025 navigates that exact challenge, redefining what it means to be a driver's car in an age dominated by algorithms and electrification. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 enters its middle act with confidence born from refinement. The debates about heritage versus partnership have not vanished, but what stands out now is execution. At this point, Toyota's Gazoo racing team has spent years refining the platform to a point where every millimeter of suspension travel, every throttle response, and every shift calibration reflects a single guiding question: how does it feel? Because for all the technology packed into this machine, feeling remains its greatest currency. The 2025 model does not chase record-breaking horsepower, it chases connection, and that choice defines its appeal. To understand how the Toyota GR Supra 2025 achieves that connection, we need to look beneath the surface. The inline-six engine remains the centerpiece, tuned for linearity and response rather than sheer brute force. Engineers focused on torque curve smoothness and throttle mapping, ensuring power delivery feels intuitive and immediate. The electronically controlled differential works quietly in the background, managing traction with near-telepathic precision. These systems form a network designed not to interfere, but to enhance the human element. When the driver turns in, the car reacts instantly. When the throttle opens, the rear wheels translate intent into motion without hesitation. It's a harmony that feels mechanical, even when electronics play the supporting role. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 also benefits from improved cooling and braking systems compared to earlier models. Larger venting and optimized ductwork help sustain performance during extended track sessions, while revised brake pads and rotors deliver consistent pedal feel under stress. These refinements might sound small, but they change the entire rhythm of the drive. Long before lap times come into play, the Supra rewards smooth inputs, measured braking, and deliberate cornering. It feels like an instrument designed for skilled hands, forgiving yet precise. That's what distinguishes it from cars built purely for digital bragging rights. One of the most remarkable traits of the Toyota GR Supra 2025 is how it bridges technology and intuition. Inside, digital instrumentation provides detailed data, but Toyota avoided turning the cockpit into a distraction. The driver display conveys just enough information: shift lights, G-force readings, and navigation remains secondary to the road ahead. The infotainment interface is crisp and responsive, yet simple to operate even with gloves on. Toyota recognized that attention is the scarcest resource behind the wheel, so the car respects it. Everything serves the act of driving, nothing feels superfluous. The balance between analog emotion and digital control becomes the Toyota GR Supra 2025's defining achievement. Many modern sports cars rely on layers of electronic mediation that filter the experience. The Supra, in contrast, filters selectively. It preserves texture in steering feedback, the subtle weight shifts in mid-corner load, and the gentle vibration that tells the driver the tires are approaching their limit. This tactile communication builds trust. It's what allows the driver to push harder, to explore boundaries safely. That's why enthusiasts describe it not as a computer on wheels, but as a partner in motion. The manual transmission option deserves particular attention. Toyota engineers didn't simply transplant an existing gearbox. They designed a system that integrates clutch take-up, shift weight, and pedal spacing specifically for the Supra's balance and torque curve. It's deliberate, mechanical, and rewarding in a way that few modern cars attempt. The 6-speed gearbox transforms the 2025 GR Supra into a different kind of sports car, one that prioritizes rhythm and skill over raw numbers. In a time when most performance cars rely on automated perfection, this choice feels almost rebellious. Yet that's precisely what gives the Supra its renewed identity. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 steering remains one of its strongest points. The variable ratio system adapts naturally to speed and angle, providing stability on highways and sharp feedback on backroads. The car rotates predictably, communicates clearly, and never feels artificial. That predictability encourages exploration, whether on a canyon road or an autocross course. Combined with near-perfect weight distribution, it allows drivers to build confidence quickly. It's no coincidence that seasoned track instructors often describe the Supra as a teacher's car, one that rewards smoothness and punishes overconfidence gently rather than harshly. Noise, vibration, and harshness control also demonstrate Toyota's attention to sensory detail. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 produces a deep, purposeful exhaust tone, not excessively loud, but enough to remind the driver that the inline-six is alive. Sound engineers tuned both intake and exhaust frequencies to emphasize mid-range resonance, the sweet spot between refinement and excitement. Cabin insulation allows conversation at cruising speeds yet transmits enough engine character to make acceleration engaging. The combination results in an experience that feels sophisticated but never sterile. One of the subtler evolutions in the Toyota GR Supra 2025 is its relationship with modern driver assistance. Adaptive cruise control, lane departure alerts, and collision mitigation exist, but they fade into the background. The Supra never forces the driver to surrender control. Instead, it provides safety nets that activate only when absolutely necessary. This approach respects both the machine's capability and the driver's skill. It's a reminder that progress doesn't have to come at the expense of engagement. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 faces its greatest challenge in the world that surrounds it. Sports cars, once the flagship of aspiration, now compete for attention in an era dominated by electric mobility, digital convenience, and automated safety. Yet the Supra persists. Its very existence is a statement that not every machine has to chase autonomy or silence to be relevant. Instead, it offers a counterpoint to a future increasingly defined by algorithms. It reminds us that driving, at its best, is an active dialogue between person and machine. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 anchors that dialogue through balance. It carries a gasoline engine, a rear-wheel drive layout, and a focus on driver engagement, but it's also deeply modern in its design philosophy. It embodies Toyota's attempt to bridge the emotional past with the technological present. The key lies not in resisting progress but in interpreting it. The Supra doesn't ignore electrification, rather, it positions itself as a reminder of what emotion feels like before cars become silent. This clarity of purpose gives the model a rare authenticity. It's not pretending to be futuristic, it's celebrating the present moment while acknowledging what's coming next. Toyota has hinted at the direction beyond the GR Supra 2025. Engineers continue experimenting with hybrid powertrains and hydrogen combustion as potential ways to preserve performance while reducing emissions. The Supra's role in this experimentation is symbolic. It anchors the emotional side of Toyota's performance vision. Whether future iterations retain a six-cylinder engine or transition to electrified assistance, the underlying principle remains the same: connection first, numbers second. This approach ensures that as regulations evolve, the Supra lineage will evolve too, without losing its soul. Inside the Toyota GR Supra 2025, that philosophy is already visible in subtle ways. The car's onboard systems log data for performance analysis but never overwhelm the driver with complexity. Toyota calls this concept intuitive technology, where innovation enhances instinct rather than replaces it. The Supra doesn't ask you to learn its behavior, it learns yours. Its adaptive systems respond to individual driving style, adjusting throttle sensitivity, steering weight, and transmission logic over time. This evolving intelligence gives the car personality without artificial gimmicks. It feels alive, not because it's conscious, but because it listens. That sense of listening extends beyond engineering. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 has become a cultural bridge connecting generations of enthusiasts. Older fans see it as a respectful continuation of the nameplate they loved. Younger drivers view it as a gateway into authentic driving culture. It brings together communities that rarely overlap, those who grew up with the A80 era and those discovering the Supra through modern gaming, media, or motorsport. In an age where trends divide audiences, this shared enthusiasm matters. It demonstrates that passion for performance can still unite people across time and technology. Motorsport plays a key role in maintaining that connection. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 doesn't just exist as a showroom model, it also competes in various racing categories under Gazoo Racing. These programs feed development data back into production, ensuring that the road car stays relevant through genuine performance testing. Racing refines not just parts but philosophies. Every improvement in tire grip, cooling efficiency, and durability informs the next update. This loop between competition and consumer cars keeps the Supra's DNA grounded in authenticity. The global market presents its own challenges. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 operates in a shrinking niche as crossovers and electric vehicles dominate sales. Yet its continued production signals Toyota's belief in diversity of emotion. Not every driver wants silence or automation. Some want involvement, the rhythm of shifting gears, the sound of combustion, the tactile feedback that no touchscreen can replicate. For those people, the Supra remains a lifeline. It's proof that passion still has a place in the age of practicality. There's also a symbolic weight to the Toyota GR Supra 2025. It stands as a message from a company known for efficiency and reliability that emotion matters just as much as logic. It challenges the notion that excitement and responsibility must exist on opposite sides of the automotive spectrum. Toyota's engineers have found a way to build a car that feels thrilling yet refined, powerful yet accessible. In doing so, they've reaffirmed something fundamental, that innovation doesn't have to erase tradition, it can amplify it. Driving the Toyota GR Supra 2025 becomes an experience that transcends time. It recalls an analog past while embracing digital precision. The driver sits low, senses vibration through the chassis, and feels weight transfer through each curve. Yet every motion benefits from contemporary calibration. Stability control systems intervene invisibly when needed. Adaptive dampers read the road 100 times per second. It's the fusion of art and science that defines the Supra's true character. The car doesn't just perform, it communicates. As the automotive world pivots toward electrification, cars like the Toyota GR Supra 2025 gain even more significance. They represent the final chapters of a mechanical era while influencing how emotion might be engineered into the next one. The lessons learned from the Supra's tactile feedback, responsive power delivery, and human-centered ergonomics could shape how Toyota programs its future electric sports cars. The brand understands that if passion fades, performance becomes meaningless. The Supra keeps that flame alive while the industry transitions. Ultimately, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 is not just a vehicle, it's a reflection of Toyota's larger journey. A company once defined by durability now champions excitement. A brand once synonymous with caution now celebrates risk-taking in design and execution. This transformation mirrors the Supra's own rebirth. It took courage to resurrect a legend knowing scrutiny would follow. Yet the outcome proves that risk and reverence can coexist. The Supra is both homage and innovation, both memory and momentum. The question that began this story, can a true driver's car still exist in a digital age, finds its answer here. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 proves that such cars can not only exist but thrive, provided they evolve with intention. It offers the sensations of a classic sports car while acknowledging the precision of modern technology. That equilibrium makes it more than a revival, it makes it a blueprint. And as Toyota continues exploring future propulsion methods, that blueprint may shape how emotion survives in whatever comes next. In its purest sense, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 serves as a bridge. It connects the mechanical heartbeat of yesterday with the digital intelligence of tomorrow. It reminds drivers that control can be shared without being surrendered, and that passion can adapt without fading. It may not shout the loudest or accelerate the quickest, but it carries something far rarer, purpose. And in the quiet transformation of an industry chasing efficiency above all else, purpose might just be the most powerful fuel left. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 ends its story where it began, with a question about what driving truly means. Across decades of evolution, through design debates and engineering milestones, the Supra has stood for one simple principle: the bond between driver and machine matters. In 2025, that bond feels more important than ever. The Supra carries its legacy with humility and precision. It's not just nostalgia wrapped in new metal, but a deliberate act of preservation in a time when engagement risks being replaced by automation. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 has done something rare. It has proven that collaboration can yield authenticity when guided by conviction. Its shared platform no longer defines it, its character does. The Zoo Racing's careful tuning, the return of a manual transmission, and the subtle yet significant updates to steering and suspension have turned skepticism into respect. The Supra's identity is not inherited, it's earned. And by earning it, Toyota has reclaimed its place in the conversation about what makes a sports car meaningful. Culturally, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 has also reawakened a sense of unity among car enthusiasts. It bridges the gap between analog purists and digital natives. Older drivers see it as a continuation of a story they thought had ended. Younger fans discover a gateway into a kind of driving that feels almost handcrafted. Few machines can connect those generations so seamlessly. The Supra does it not through marketing hype, but through feel, through steering weight, through the sound of a turbo spooling, through the satisfaction of a perfectly timed shift. From a design standpoint, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 also hints at Toyota's larger philosophy for the coming decade. The company knows that emotional engineering will become as vital as technical innovation. Future cars will rely on quiet powertrains and seamless interfaces, but if they forget to make us feel, they'll lose what made driving magical in the first place. The Supra stands as Toyota's insurance policy against that loss, a rolling reminder that connection can't be simulated. Economically and strategically, the Toyota GR Supra 2025 makes a smaller impact than the company's mass-market models, yet its influence extends far beyond sales charts. It shapes perception, attracting enthusiasts who might have overlooked the brand in the past. It positions Toyota as a company unafraid to chase emotion in an era dominated by logic. The Supra's halo effect strengthens the credibility of every other Gazoo racing project, from hot hatches to endurance prototypes. It becomes a lighthouse guiding the company through changing tides. Driving the Toyota GR Supra 2025 is not about chasing perfection, it's about savoring imperfection. It's about the way the clutch catches slightly higher than expected, the way the rear tires whisper before grip returns, the way momentum becomes music through rhythm and feedback. These experiences remind us that driving can still be an art form. They remind us why we fell in love with cars in the first place. As we look forward, the future of performance will almost certainly involve electrification, but the Supra's story proves that emotion can adapt. Whether powered by batteries, hydrogen, or hybrid systems, the lessons learned here, balance, responsiveness, intuition, will guide Toyota's engineers. They'll find new ways to translate human intent into mechanical motion, ensuring that the feeling the Supra delivers today lives on in tomorrow's machines. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 closes its chapter with a quiet kind of confidence. It doesn't try to dominate headlines or redefine categories. Instead, it redefines priorities. It tells us that progress doesn't have to erase personality, that a car can be fast, efficient, and still soulful. It's a rare alignment of technology and tradition, one that proves passion has a place in the modern age. And so, the legend continues. The Toyota GR Supra 2025 isn't just a revival, it's a reaffirmation. A promise that driving, when done right, will always be more than movement. It's emotion, craft, and connection distilled into motion. As long as cars like this exist, the spirit of driving will never fade.